Hey everyone, Kit's the Witch here. Instead of doing a box review today, I will be doing a book review. Ooh. Today I will be reviewing Backwoods Witchcraft, Conjure and Folk Magic from Appalachia by Jake Richards. It is published by Weiser Books. See if I can get the spine there. Yep, Weiser Books, and they are well known for a lot of metaphysical books, so this is another one from their library. So this is actually not too bad of a read. It's about, including the bibliography, about 211 pages, so it looks really intimidating and big, but it's really not. If you are a fast reader or someone who reads prolifically, this probably will not be an issue for you. And if you see the typeface, the type is, it's medium. It's not really small text, and that's really great. So let us start with the cons, sort of. I really don't see them as cons, but I know some people have different opinions, so it might be something that people want to consider before they purchase this book. So one of the things is, if you are looking for something very cut and dry, or a little more esoteric, a little bit more like, I don't know how to describe it, but just a little more esoteric, you're not going to find it in this book. I think it is a pro personally, but Jake Richards does this very plain-spokenly. It's almost like you're sitting around a campfire and he is telling you the stories of Appalachia, and that is really nice. But like I said, if you want more wordy tomes, this is not necessarily a book that accommodates that. Another thing is, it is specific regionally based. It does cover most of Appalachia, I'm sorry, but it covers most of that area except maybe the northern southern states, so northern Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and also further north, so western Pennsylvania, southern New York, eastern Ohio. So it does not cover really those areas, but it does cover the central areas, so Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina. So expect that. One of the things that I would have liked a little more is they refer to a lot of Southern conjure as almost like a sister conjure. And I would have liked to see more parallels between the two. Southern conjure is definitely mentioned within the book, but not as much as I would have liked, I guess. Again, to mention that they are sister things, I would like to see some more of the synchronicity between them. Another thing is, it's called Backwoods Witchcraft, but witch has a more negative connotation in Appalachia. Oh my god, I'm full of words. So, most people are considered conjurers, doctors, healers, that sort of thing. So it's really witchcraft in the name of the book. So because it's such a Bible-heavy area and Christian-based faith healing, most people who are healer or do the folk healing do not consider themselves witches. I guess next we'll talk about the things that are sort of maybes on this. Excuse me. I think one of the things I like, but might be for you, is this is an extensive bibliography in the back. It shows that Jake Richards was really invested in his subject matter, in my opinion. And sometimes books don't have a very extensive bibliography, and it's sort of weird to me, because does that mean you're the primary source? Because while I'm not saying that witchcraft isn't original, there's a lot of tradition that is built up and built up and built up on each other. So everything has the source of some sort. So that's what I appreciate for longer bibliographies, because it shows the sources and like sort of the origins of certain things. One of the things I really liked about this, like that's my only maybe thing about that, like some people like hearing like what someone's specific opinion is, so if that's your jam, like more power to you. But like I said, personally I like having extensive bibliographies, especially in something I'm interested in, because I would love to get more resources on that, and I think there's a few books in the bibliography that I would love to open. So for the good stuff, because there is good stuff, if you couldn't tell by like my review so far, is that I learned a lot about the specificity of the conjure aspect in Appalachia, because like it's basically ritual out of necessity, and you would understand it if you read the book, but it's not ritual for the sake of ritual, because it's very specific. It's like something outsiders looking in, or someone who's not familiar with witchcraft would associate, because it would be like, do something on the full moon on this month and turn this direction while like spitting into this specific tree. And like I said, it's more of a necessity-based ritual, because a lot of the folk magic is based on the seasons and on the feast days. So I thought that was a really interesting spin on ritual. And I mentioned before, I did like the tone of the book. Like I said, he seems really personable. It's just very casual, like he's just sort of having a nice chat with you. And honestly, I really enjoyed that, because sometimes books can get so dense or so just like dry that it's hard to read them through in one go or quickly, which is something I like to do. And the other things I liked were there were synchronicities between other like sort of traditions. Like one of the examples he cites is when he was still being carried by his mother, she got into a car accident, and as a result he had a birthmark shaped like a pickup truck. And I think that's really interesting, because in my culture, which is Filipino, there's something very similar where if a pregnant woman eats something like crab, like a lot of crab, her child will be crab-like when they are born. And I don't mean like Lovecraftian crab person, but just sort of a rounded face, moody disposition, just sort of very crabby, you know, just that sort of personality and physical traits. The other thing I really liked was it's not just a completely like just book about the conjuring, like that he puts like little different spells that he's used, or his ancestors or his relatives have used in between like little antidotes. And I think that's really good, because not just like spell, it's like spell, story, and then even like explanation as to why this is done a certain way, which I think is really cool. The other thing I really like is like at the very end, there are actually folk recipes and remedies. So besides the spells that he mentions throughout the story, like here are the sort of common stuff that's used in Appalachia. So like, let's see, like to stop gossip, do this. To stop a fever, do this. I don't want to spoil the book for you, so I'll be incredibly vague. Anyway, the major part of this video is, should you buy this? And it depends if you're interested in this or not. If you are interested, then absolutely, because it's one of the, like, Appalachian conjure and magic is like one of the few uniquely American magical traditions, which I think is cool. And it pulls from a lot of traditions. So it pulls from indigenous tradition, African tradition, and also Western European, and in some cases Eastern European. And I think it sort of takes all of those and makes it its own sort of tradition, which I think is really fascinating. And it's also, like I said, it's good if you have no intention of practicing this is fine too, but it's a great informational book too. Like, knowledge is power, and I mean, one of the quintessential traits of a witch is you're always learning. So even if it's not something that you would personally practice, like, it's just really good to learn about other traditions that are outside the Western Eurocentric sphere, which again is something that is very prevalent in the magical community. Like, it's usually pulling from like a lot of like English witchcraft, Western witchcraft, Wicca, and this just sort of exposes you to a little more different things. Basically, at the end of the day, I really loved this book, and I'm probably going to reread it again. Like, if I hadn't gotten this book and bought it, like, I probably would have been interested in it anyway. And like I said, it's great for learning, and also really great for just sort of understanding other traditions. So, TLDR, recommend the book as long as you're interested in this sort of thing. Otherwise, I guess you move on and look to another book. But anyway, that is my review, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.